The Loki Season 2 finale just aired, so today I thought it was time for me to stop and talk about Loki Season 2. Please note that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My name is SW Nation, and you're free to comment down below your very own opinion on Loki Season 2. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. That link is in the description, as well as that Marvel playlist. That link is also in the description as well. You guys can go check out my Loki Season 1 review. That link is in the description in that Marvel playlist. And with that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get right into our review. This will not be a typical review. I've done TV reviews in the past. You guys can go check them out. But I used to do a breakthrough of the finale in the first half, and then the second half would be a full-on review. So I would kind of put two videos into one. Right now, let's just have a spoiler discussion about Loki, the entire season, as well as some pieces of the finale in here. Now, at the time of me recording this, I literally just sat down from watching the Marvels. I just went to go see the Marvels, and now I'm even more excited to talk about this and the Marvels. So that review might be out before this one. Just the timelines just didn't add up. So for me, this show, the season, actually just worked. I can't find any true negatives in my opinion. Like, I just really can't. It's not like top tier Marvel. Like, it's not Infinity War. It's not Endgame levels. I don't even think it's probably up there with Age of Ultron. Probably it might be up there with Age of Ultron, not gonna lie. It might be above Age of Ultron, honestly. But I guess I can say the fact that people aren't watching is a bad. Like, people weren't really watching the show when it came out, and you can just clearly see it because nobody on Twitter was talking about it, like how they were talking about season 1, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision. I think up to this point, just people kind of tapped out of the MCU shows. But we also have to understand that we went from She-Hulk to Quantumania, Guardians 3 up there, but then we went right back down to Secret Invasion. Now we have Loki Season 2, and people are just tapped out. They've been disappointed too many times, and that's a bad. But thinking about it now, I gotta say, man, it works as its own project outside of the MCU. Now, it's in the MCU. It's clearly having some ties to the first Avengers and season 1, but it feels so contained in its own story. Most of the time travel established in the show is different from the films, and I love that bit. They simplified it enough to where it doesn't feel convoluted or different for the sake of being different, like that plot device inside of Endgame that Hulk explained. In terms of this season though, it starts off pretty strong, picking up exactly where we left off with an intriguing story and massive tension. Immediately you can feel the incoming threat of Kang and how that fear rolls over Loki, looms over him. I loved all of that, man. Like, the moment the first episode of season 2 started, I was excited and I was hooked. It's exactly what Disney Plus shows should do going forward. We've established the TVA in the first season, so now we can just focus on the story at hand. The set designs and framing and the look of the show is just dynamic but different, and it's just incredible. It feels different. It feels like a different thing outside of the MCU, but also has ties to the MCU. The way shots are, especially in the premiere, I don't mean to sound generic or just like a lame fan, but come on, Wes Anderson comes to mind. I only know that because I look at some of the AI stuff on YouTube. I'm not a Wes Anderson fan. I don't even think I've seen a single Wes Anderson movie. Maybe I need to dive into that before I actually like make a comparison here. But the episodes where Jonathan Majors comes out to play as Victor Timely is such a quirky performance that makes me pray that he stays as Kang. I hope he stays as Kang in the future, but not gonna lie, watching the finale, I kind of got this idea. What if Kang was just a red herring? Maybe that's why the whole thing with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania happened the way it did, with Kang getting defeated by ants. Maybe it's because Loki was supposed to take his place. Maybe Kang Dynasty isn't the title of the next Avengers movie. They're just calling it that. We don't know what Marvel is doing, and we don't know what Marvel is cooking. So maybe the fact that what happens to Loki at the end of this season and at the end of this episode, with him kind of taking the place of He Who Remains and sitting on the throne, he has his own throne, horns out, watching over the different branches of the timeline. Maybe this was always the story for the MCU, that Loki would become He Who Remains, that Loki would become Kang. This variant of Loki would become Kang. I don't know. It's just a theory. It's just, for me, the Loki show is really the only piece of MCU content that's pushing us towards the incoming threat of Kang. And it is literally the only show that makes us feel the fear of Kang the Conqueror. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I thought it did a great job introducing that Kang, but it didn't get me excited for Kang Dynasty. But I think going back to Loki is that his arc inside of the season is one of the best in the MCU. It's satisfying by the end as well as earned. Literally, we see him go from season 1, this guy who wanted to conquer Earth out of anger of his father and his brother. And then we see that arc fluctuate, go up and down, until eventually we see where he is at the end of season 2. He goes from this god among men that wants to conquer everything to just this god that has to save everything. And he's given this hero treatment, a redemption arc that's, I think, a hell of a lot better than the prime Loki that we had. He still feels like the god of mischief. He just feels more mature now. And he's not the angry boy that's seeking the throne. He just doesn't want to see the end of everything. Another thing here is that I think the reveal of the TVA and everyone who works there are all variants. I think their response to it is fantastic. This is all some of them know. Their faith in the timekeepers is a lie. And the members of the TVA feel like true characters this season. Some of them even get names. Some of them even visit the sacred timeline to see what their lives would have been, because they want to know. Some of them don't want to know, like Owen Wilson's Mobius, but others do want to know, and others want to experience that life that was taken from them. It's such an interesting idea and an interesting concept that I felt like it worked because we're in a season 2 and we can explore that a little bit more than we could have in season 1. And finally, while watching this season, I got the impression that this kind of felt like a DC Legends of Tomorrow season. I'm not talking like the lore bits of DC Legends. I'm talking like season 3, season 2, and me personally, I love season 4. And it's exactly what I wanted season 1 to be. A time traveling show, but it has simple time travel. A buddy cop series doing missions and unraveling mysteries throughout different time periods. Maybe a multiversal Zodiac killer on the loose, and it turns out to be a Loki variant, but we have to track this Loki variant through different points of time. This is what this season is. It literally has those themes and those plot points. I appreciated that a whole lot more. Loki season 2 improves on the first season by a lot, because I don't like the first season of Loki. I think I liked it when it first came out because it was the only thing that pushed the MCU towards Kang. We were finally getting some teases to the bigger villain that isn't Thanos. I love that about the first season of Loki, but that's only in the finale. The first season of Loki, I haven't had any rewatch value of that. Like, I don't want to rewatch that first season at all. Season 2 improves on all of that. Continuing where we left off, was able to flesh out Loki even more, and they even contribute to the ever-rising threat of Kang. It feels like it's moving the MCU forward instead of just a product. It's a shame nobody watched it, because it's not silly, it's not convoluted, it's not congested, it's full of story, but it's full of story that works on its own and contributes to the MCU. When Jonathan Majors comes out to play, he's epic. Loki and Mobius's dynamic inside of this season is great as well, and they improve on their dynamic from season 1, and they continue some things that you liked about their dynamic from season 1. Again, everything is a step up. Everything is better. Everything has setup and everything has payoff. And when you get to that finale in the end of Loki sitting on the freaking throne, tying the timeline branches together and being the new He Who Remains, taking over Kang's spot as the guy to watch over the sacred timeline, it becomes satisfying. And the only way that you can have that satisfying finale is if you had all of the setup in season 1 and follow up on that with even a better story for season 2. This is exactly what the Variety article was talking about Marvel not doing these 6-episode events that just introduce a character that you're not going to use for the next 3 years. Make one season that you're very proud of, and if it works, announce a season 2. I don't think that I can just recommend this season to everyone because it looks different, it feels different. The time traveling stuff is simple, but also some people may get confused. And just overall, the entire thing with Loki becoming He Who Remains, maybe people aren't just that excited for it. So I'm going to give it an A. I'm going to give it a 9.3 out of 10. And I would say it's the second best MCU show, probably. I think it might be better than Ms. Marvel because WandaVision's at the top. And then Ms. Marvel, this might have to be number 2 now. A big jump from where Loki season 1 is at right now. I want to keep having this discussion about Loki season 2, about how great this season of television was and how heartbreaking it is that nobody watched it. But I do have to go write the Marvel's review and record that, edit that, and put that one out before I do this one. So comment down below, guys. What did you think of Loki season 2? I already recorded a conclusion part to this video, but as of right now, the video's over. Comment down below, what did you think of season 2? Alright guys, that is it for the review. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion, and you're free to comment down below your very own opinion on Loki season 2. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Comment down your thoughts down below. Please don't forget to check out that Marvel playlist. That link is in the description, as well as that Twitter. That link is also in the description as well. You guys can check out my various Marvel videos in that Marvel playlist. With all of that out of the way, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Peace.